What? What is up, everybody? It's your boy, oder hallo, meine lieben Freunde, was geht, was genau, was. Guten Abend, guten Tag. Es ist dein Lieblings-YouTuber James Bray und ich reagiere heute auf Economy of Germany, Unraveling German Economy and Mittelstand. Very interesting stuff we have here today, guys. Germany and money. Money. How did Germany get to be so wealthy? Okay, we need to go ahead and dive into that thing today. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. If you guys are returning viewers, welcome back. We post videos every single day. We don't miss. We do not miss. So hop along for the journey. It's fun, it's lit, it's legit. Okay, all I ask is that you subscribe if you guys are new, and we'll just go from there. But let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and see exactly what the hell is going on. Los geht's!
Germany, the country known for luxurious cars, enchanting castles, zestful festivals, frothy beer, scrumptious bread, FKK culture, love for food.
FKK, dog. Y'all do not play about that FKK, man. Everybody running around here with their cheeks out. My guy.
Football, being the biggest economy in Europe and the fourth largest economy in the world by GDP.
Wow.
The country takes pride in building up itself from square one. No matter how much they are pushed back, they will march forward.
Nice.
And despite its fair share of highs and lows over time, the economy of Germany is no joke.
Yeah, for real. You guys literally changed the game, my guy. I mean, look at the setup right here. This is Berlin. This is tough.
Because in Germany, there are no jokes. If you have any, we would love to hear them in the comment section below. The Industrial Revolution began about a century later in Germany than it did in Great Britain, because Germany did not exist as one political unit until 1871. This development was done at a remarkable pace, and the country excelled. Progress was carried to the next century until they decided to use this advantage to go on in a war. And not just an ordinary war, but a world war.
It's the First World War. Shit, I forgot about that. Damn. Oh, yeah, I remember. Didn't y'all lose that one too?
Only to see a loss, but not just an ordinary loss, but a big one that brought its economy to shambles. The victorious Allies decided to punish Germany with massive war reparations. Germany was already demolished, and penalties made the situation even worse.
Oh, I heard about this. If he's talking about the First World War, I'm pretty sure that's what put Germany in a fucked up state in the first place, kind of. And then there was the World War II stuff, and then the bounce back after that was insane. Honestly, that was admirable, but holy shit.
They tried to pay it off by printing money, and the country had to face one of the worst hyperinflation between 1921 to 1923.
Yeah,
the country kept on facing troubles, and it eventually gave rise to this Austrian-born German mustache guy who decided to steer the country's economy towards massive military spendings and decided to go in on yet another war because for some reasons looting others' wealth seemed like a great idea.
Come on, bro. You can't just be robbing other countries. That's America's job.
And again, not just an ordinary war, but a big one, the World War II. And again, it was lost.
Damn.
During World War II, the Nazis inflicted a system of economic controls on production, prices, and wages. On top of that, they printed money to cover a part of the costs of war, which resulted in inflation, along with tons of other factors that brought the country to a social and economic collapse by the time they surrendered in 1945.
Backfired.
The Allies that bombed Germany in World War II decided the fate of the country yet again and ended up dividing it into two parts.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, this is the part that I always get like messed up on. I've reacted to a lot of videos on, that basically discuss Eastern and Western Germany and why they're so wildly different. And although I understand a lot more now, more than I ever have in my entire life, I still get a bit confused as to how the East part of Germany was allowed to get like essentially handed over to an entire entity. Like that's kind of blows my mind. Maybe he might touch on it a little bit.
West Germany under the control of the United States, Great Britain, and France, while East Germany under the control of the Soviet Union. From here, East and West Germany went on to pursue different journeys. Western forces decided that it wasn't a good idea to put the nation through the same cycle of reparations just like they did earlier.
True.
Instead, they should be helped, sort of like keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
True.
So a plan was implemented which is referred to as the Marshall Plan to rebuild the country aided by the Western powers. The purpose of this plan
that
was to
makes
ensure
sense.
that Germans won't fall for any other nationalistic leader like the mustache guy.
That's what happened initially. So the whole reason I feel like the mustache guy rose to power so quickly was because he was playing on people's fear and emotion, tied into how horrible the economy was doing at the time due to the reparations and stuff like that. So it was very easy to fall victim to bullshit like this. And that's pretty much how that's how he rose to power so fast. People were like, the people wanted somebody to blame for all of the problems and stuff. So he's like, well, sheesh, you got that group of people over there, that group of people over there, boom, boom, boom. It was fucked. It was very fucked. And it backfired. I mean, Buddy took his own head off. So crazy, man. But like I said, the fact that Germany bounced back from something like this is proof that anything is possible, man.
Or get inclined towards any communist ideologies. Marshall Plan's effectiveness in the uplift of the country is a common viewpoint, but not the only reason behind Germany's economic success. A small group of German free market advocates who survived the war had maintained a connection with each other in hopes of sharing ideas. One of the prime figures was Walter Eucken, who was a professor at the University of Freiburg. One of Eucken's disciples, named Ludwig Erhard, was later appointed as economics minister in the American zone in 1946.
Oh, wow.
Erhard brought major reforms and advocated for a free market economy and emphasized frequently that Germans have to accept their tough conditions and only hard work and self-responsibility could make them prosper and attain a new place among the civilized nations of the world. American and British zones were combined into one in 1948, and Erhard was appointed as the director of the economy. A new currency was brought in, and the money supply was controlled by allowing the West Germany citizens to exchange 10 old marks for one new mark.
Jesus Christ. Money, man. Germany did not play about that money. Actually, the Western powers didn't play about the money, man. They were all about restoring Germany's economy by any means necessary so that, history didn't repeat itself. And this is actually very interesting how that even happened. That's insane to me. What the heck?
Erhard went on to end the price and production controls. On a Sunday, when all the Allied authorities were out of their offices, Erhard announced on the radio that the next day nearly all price control policies would end. A commander of the American authorities called Erhard into his office and said, Erhard, my advisors tell me you're making a terrible mistake. Erhard replied, don't listen to them, General. My advisors tell me the same thing.
Hey, that was a decent little German accent. Okay, that was decent.
The
Okay.
recovery began. The hoarded goods came out of hidings as they could be sold at competitive market prices. Industrial production increased substantially in the next couple of years. There was a spike in prices after the price control policies were abolished, but the cost of living was reduced once the agricultural and industrial output was increased. The economic success guided its way into the 1960s, and the productivity showed West Germany to overshine other nations in Western Europe, including the victors of war such as Great Britain.
Oh, wow.
But West Germany never transformed into a total free market economy. The architects of the reforms, including Ludwig Erhard, remained advocates of the middle way, somewhere in between the free market and socialist planning called the social market economy, also known as Rhine capitalism. The social part of the social market economy is often confused with socialism and democratic socialism, etc. Sure, it has similarities, but it has many differences too. For example, it is not pumped by oil like in some Scandinavian countries. On the other side, the Eastern Bloc, or as known as East Germany, was a different story, inclined towards a classic socialist economy. While West Germany was...
I actually don't really understand political terms like that because I'm not really into politics. I mean, I think we took a civics class and discussed political views when I was in high school, and I think even in middle school, but I was just like, I actually just recently, within the last 7 years, really understood the difference between a Democratic and Republican society, or I guess at least the difference between the parties in general, just because of the elections that have happened and people's viewpoints on things here. Very, very interesting. They're also very extreme, I guess, on both sides now. They were a lot less extreme, I think, a few years ago, but they've gotten more and more extreme the older I've gotten. So very interesting, man.
Progressing and termed as an economic miracle, East Germany went through terrible financial times under the planned economy of the Soviet Union.
Well, naturally, what the fuck? I mean, it's easy to get bribed by West Germany now to just fall into... I'm pretty sure people from East Germany were trying desperately to get into West Germany, which is why the Berlin Wall, like, getting taken down was a huge fucking thing. Because the second that they're like, okay, because I'm pretty sure... Wasn't it that people from East Germany were trying to sneak into West Germany to get jobs and shit like that because the economy in East Germany was so fucked? Like, that's how I remember it, at least. I'm not sure if I have it backwards. I'm pretty sure people from East Germany were like, oh, hell no, we need to go get some goddamn work. We can't be living like this. And the Soviet Union's like, that's your problem. Nah. You know?
Factories that were not destroyed during wartime were dismantled into pieces and shipped to the Soviet Union, who had implemented a communist political structure headed by Stalin. Various other aspects made East Germany lag behind, although the Soviets were keen on showcasing it as a paradise, which it wasn't by any standards. The city of Berlin, split between the Eastern and Western forces, was a strange place, as it was making the contrast between East and West economic conditions look more evident.
Oh, wow. It's weird that Berlin was split in half. So the Berlin Wall, and I guess that would make sense, right? Because the Berlin Wall coming down, it's like, okay, cool. Because you had West Berlin, East Berlin. So the wall went straight through Berlin. I need to look at that map again. I didn't realize Berlin was divided in half. Like, it was that... What? I mean, I guess it makes sense, but that really didn't occur to me. I thought Berlin was... It's on the eastern side of Germany, so I thought the Soviet Union had all of Berlin. But then the Berlin Wall falling down wouldn't make any sense, right? Because it's... that was one of the strongest representations of the divide finally being shattered ever, you know? That's interesting.
Soviets didn't want German citizens of their side to see the obvious growth on the Western Bloc, nor they wanted people to start shifting to the other side. They started injecting money to their side of the city, and when that did not work, they decided to erect a long wall in between, also known as the Berlin Wall. The Wall of Shame remained standing for almost 3 decades until it was demolished a couple of years before the fall of the Soviet Union. With the fall of the wall, East and West Germany were unified. Germany's reunification was not an easy task from an economic point of view. Merging one part of the country that was seeing an economic boom with another part that came out of a communist regime was not easy.
Oh, yeah, man. I wonder what it was like having different types of people just coming together after that. Like, you have, like, the eastern side of Germany, Soviet Union influence, and then the western side of Germany, very progressive, getting pumped. And pumped with a lot of help from, like, you know, United States, Great Britain, and I think France, I want to say. I forgot the third country. But anyways, coming together and then the people intermingling. That must have been a very interesting experience, man. But something that we can all unite over some beer. Like, this is insane.
But as always, Germany was able to fix the situation eventually. But what is it about the economy of Germany that makes sure it keeps on emerging back against the constant challenges?
Mittelstand.
When talking about Germany's economic capacity, Mercedes and BMW and other fancy car companies do get a mention, but they're not the steering wheel that drives the economy.
See what you did there. That's clever. Okay, that was slick.
It's the medium-sized companies that are the backbone and not-so-secret recipe of the German economy, also known as Mittelstand. Some people describe Mittelstand as small and medium-sized enterprises, or SMEs, but the definition of SMEs is comparatively restrictive and it's not directly equivalent to Mittelstand. Mittelstand firms are mostly family-owned private businesses, often of small size to medium range, characterized by a common set of values and operational practices. It is more like a business culture, with firms having a unique way of doing things. The firms are mostly run by the owner-entrepreneurial families who are interested in the sustainability and longevity of the business.
What? So do they pay into something? And is that how the economy gets boosted? Or he's about to get into that.
They are highly focused on the idea of doing one thing well first and diversifying internationally later.
Okay.
While the world keeps on praising the serial entrepreneurs, Mittelstand companies are geared by love and commitment for a product or service.
Okay.
Mittelstand companies are in it for the long run, which makes it different from the typical public firms around the world who have to face pressure quarterly or annually to meet the financial targets. Many of the companies are engaged in producing that appears to be just mundane building blocks. You know, the nuts and bolts, but they specialize in it, and they keep their dominance in the international marketplace.
That is insane. So Mittelstand, they're like the intricate crafters, right? Like he was saying, it's like small to medium sized businesses that focus on making. Each individually focus on making one thing as good as humanly fucking possible, and they play the long game. So it's not like it's not a race, it's a marathon. No, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, you know. So let's say like the job is making like copper beams for one company, then that's their focus, making the best copper beams in the world. They've been doing it for 50 years, and that is their only focus. This other company might focus on making beer or some shit like that. I'm gonna say beer just because beer, Germany, man, but boom, like that's their only focus. So in the market, they're gonna dominate because they have so much experience doing what they've been doing for so long. Whereas you have these other companies worldwide that kind of move from one thing to another, to another, to another, and the product quality isn't that good. They can mass produce shit, but the quality is trash. So it really tanks on like the reputation of these companies and what their products are. Versus Germany, you can at least rely on the fact that what they produce is reliable, it's high quality, and a lot of fucking blood, sweat, and tears went into that shit. That's very interesting. Now, if I got that wrong, let me know in the comments down below, but that's how I understood with the information. That's how I understood the information presented here. So I'm not sure if that was an accurate representation, but that to me seems pretty accurate.
There are many traits associated with this model that includes family ownership, generational continuity, long-term focus, emotional attachment with the product or services, investment into the workforce, social responsibility, linkage to the local community, lean hierarchies, and customer focus, etc.
Wow.
To grow wealth, one of the vital finance rules is to not spend beyond your means. Germany seems to follow this rule in the best possible way. That's true both for its people and the government. Awesome. While this seems to be an old way of doing things, but it works great for Germany. While discussing the student loan debt in an earlier video on the channel, we discussed that debts are generally not for everyone. Few thrive with it and others struggle with it. Germany seems to understand it very well. People and the government both are less inclined towards borrowing money unless it's really important.
Thank God, man. The borrowing money shit here, dude, is so toxic. It's so toxic. People feel like if you have a credit limit of like $20,000 that you're rich. And I'm like, no, that's not your money to spend. Why are you so excited to have access to $20,000? That's not your money. It's so irritating to me. Now, I understand we're not all millionaires here and shit, so people borrow an ass ton of money to get things like houses or cars, and I've been guilty of doing that shit too. I have like a decent amount of money in debt that I have to pay off, but I've never wanted, it's never been my dream to have access to money that is not mine, certain situations kind of just called for, hey, I have to do this, but if there was an alternate system that we could use where we didn't have to borrow so much freaking money, that would be a lot better, I'm also curious how the loan process works in Germany and what it would be used for. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys would take out a loan to get a house if you were thinking about buying a house, right? And also, it begs the question, if housing in Germany is more expensive than housing in America. Like, very interesting stuff, man. I'm very curious about all of this. These are things I want to know prior to going to Germany, just so I have an idea of how things function. I feel like that's very important.
Lower corruption rate in the government sector has also helped the country to increase its wealth and hold a good reputation and public trust.
That's cool.
Have you ever heard of countries lowering the value of its currency to boost their exports?
No.
Germany did it too, but not the way the US did it with Japan through the Plaza Accord. They did it differently. That is by adopting the euro. While euro is a powerful currency now, if Germany didn't adopt it back in its time, Deutschmark would have been a highly expensive currency to convert to. Adopting euro made the country sell and export their products at lower prices.
Oh, the Deutschmark was the old currency. I forgot about that. Does anybody... okay, if you guys are watching this video and you're from Germany, which is most of my audience, do any of you guys have like an example of what the Deutschmark looked like before the euro? I would love to see that. I mean, I know I could Google it, but it'd be interesting to just have a conversation or even like see pictures from you guys with like a Deutschmark. That would be sick because I don't know. Like I've never seen that shit before. It's just it's new to me. I didn't realize that Germany. I thought Germany always had the euro as their currency. I didn't even realize that the Deutschmark was a thing. That's interesting.
Prices to many countries. Germany is the third biggest exporter in the world after the United States and China.
Jesus.
The country's exports exceed the cost of its imports.
Wow.
That makes it one of the countries with the highest balance of payment surplus. While you may think that China is the biggest production house in the world, Germany is no short of being termed as the world's ultimate factory.
Jesus.
Sure, China makes TV screens to mobile phones to almost everything we buy, but the machines and equipment used to make these products come from Germany.
What? Wait, what? That's a plot twist I was not expecting. That's a plot twist I was not expecting. Germany is responsible for the machinery that China uses? Oh shit. So Germany is technologically like up there. That is insane. See, the only thing y'all need to work on is your internet and y'all be good. Y'all will be solid, man. What the heck? Man, imagine having 5G, a 5G network or 6G network whenever that becomes a thing when I'm long and gone. And the castles, man. In the castles of Germany, man. Imagine getting service in forests. Do you guys get service in forests? I'm willing to bet y'all don't. But I need to know. Do you guys get service when you're like walking through like the forests of Germany and stuff like that? Because I know here, the second you enter any tree line, you lose all of your service. All of it. Okay? All of it.
In short, Germany makes things that China utilizes to make other things. The more China sells, a part of it goes to Germany. Germany is successful because Germans are successful. Its people are its biggest asset. The country's strength is fueled by its education system, though it has received its fair share of criticism too. If you are a high school student and don't want to pursue academia, the vocational training system is great in Germany and less stigmatized, unlike other countries. Hands-on work and manual skills are not underestimated in the country. Educational institutes work closely with industries to innovate. Many apprentices receive more on-the-job training hours in the workplace than they spend in school. That makes them fully ready for the job. That's beneficial both to the students and the companies. These training programs also give students a salary. That means you are completing the program with money in your pocket. This setup is also great to keep the unemployment low, and it's also one of the reasons Germans usually do not leave the country for education or jobs.
Damn. That's fucking crazy, y'all. Y'all got this down to a science, man.
Industry contributes to around 30% of the GDP, which keeps 1/4 of the German workforce employed. Germany outshines in the production and export of the automobile industry, and with big names like Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Volkswagen, etc., it enjoys a dominant position in the car industry with around 90% of the world market share in what's...
That's a clean-ass Mercedes. Look at that. Look at them, right? Like showing off my Mercedes, man. Woo! Nah, I'm not into nice cars, bro. I'm not into super crazy cars. Like I don't even like driving, if I'm being honest with you. I have to do it because, you know, there is no public transportation here, so yippee.
It's described as a premium segment. Although the country was criticized for not jumping on the bandwagon of .com and internet boom back in the 90s, the country kept its focus on manufacturing and industry, and it seemed to have worked great for the country.
True that.
The business seems to linger in incorporating modern tech, but it has been able to live up to the changing times.
Jesus,
it appears
man.
that Germans, unlike US companies, like to test waters before sailing.
Very, very, very cautious. That's a cautious approach. That's solid, man.
The country has been allegedly criticized for exporting arms to the countries that are involved in conflict regions and human rights violations.
Hey, man, money's money, bro. Get it how you live. Make that cheddar cheese. We do the same thing. High key. High key.
Germany is in the top 5 biggest arms exporter in the world. Despite being one of the biggest industrial countries, Germany has almost 1/3 of its area covered by forest.
Oh,
The
wow.
forestry industry covers around 2/3 of domestic wood and wooden products demand. Although agriculture contributes to less than 0.9% of the country's GDP, it covers around 90% of its nutritional demand.
Jesus.
Domestic production can fulfill the needs of the locals, which means less reliance on the outside world for basic needs.
Bro, that is so crazy. So Germany became self-reliant in all aspects. Y'all don't need anything from anybody. Y'all export to other countries and shit. You guys have the nutrients and stuff to. That's why your bread and beer be tasting amazing, because it comes straight from the land, my guy. Like, holy shit! Well, I definitely got to make a little trip out there and see this up front, up close and personal, man. Up close and personal.
Germans prefer their own products. It's really hard to convince Germans that another product is better than theirs.
Facts. I've had arguments with German people and shit, and it's just I haven't even had arguments. I agreed. I'm like, our shit is trash, bro. America's stuff is ass. Like, the only thing I think we have you guys beat on is probably desserts, and that's just because we put like copious amounts of sugar in our food. It's not good, but it is what it is.
Try telling them how French automobiles are better than German cars, or Czech Republic's beer has a better taste.
Hey, is Bugatti a French automobile? Was that a Bugatti I saw? Was that a Bugatti? That is a Bugatti, isn't it? That is a Bugatti. Is Bugatti French? I did not know that. What the fuck?
Or Czech Republic's beer has a better taste, and see how that goes. Protectionism is another topic, but it is very debatable and hard to prove. Germany has one of the biggest tourism industries and is in the top 10 list of the most visited countries in the world by international tourist arrivals.
Jesus.
The tourism industry contributes to almost 5% of the country's GDP, employing almost 5% of the total workforce.
That's what I'm talking
Germany
about,
is
man.
known for punctuality, except for its
Except for the train system. I heard from y'all that the trains are not on time, which is normal. That's normal for any big city. Just letting y'all know.
trains, which is a whole different story. From World War I, war reparations to hyperinflation, from building themselves up again to the Great Depression and World War II, from rebuilding the country after the war to the reunification of the country and embracing the less economically stable half, from the Eurozone crisis to the global financial crisis and Brexit, Germany has seen its fair share of troubles, but it always marches forward. German efficiency is real, and its economy is no joke. Thank you for watching.
That is insane, man. That is insane. What the heck? Bro, this video blew my goddamn mind, bro. Y'all have to subscribe to this man. Like, subscribe to him. All right, Economic Raven. Subscribe to him. What a genius. What a legend. If y'all don't subscribe to him right now, I don't know what to tell you. Like, your life is messed up. Beautiful video, very well put together, and I learned a lot about the history and why Germany is just swimming in money right now. Why is Germany swimming in money? Okay, y'all are just swimming in money. Jesus Christ, that's insane. Go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We post videos like this every single day, so if you guys want to teach me more about where you guys are from, I would love to hear it. I'm also learning German, so if that interests you and you want to see my struggle to learning y'all's language, tune in every day. And a few times out of the week, I'll post updates of my progress and everything, or at least me going through the process of me learning the language. But this today was absolutely insane because it really highlighted how far Germany's come to get to where it's at now. And I think that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's like a come up story. Wow. Took a lot of help. A lot of failure, obviously, but Germany's here now. So that's fucking awesome. It's incredible. What the fuck? I'm impressed. Well, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys later. Love you guys. Subscribe before you leave. Like the video before you leave. And I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Well, what a pleasure it is to see all of your beautiful faces at the end of this lovely video. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm sure you know, as I've mentioned in the past, we do have a Discord that's linked in the description down below, and we would love to have you a part of the world's greatest community ever, Bray Gang. Yes, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're officially a part of the community. So go ahead, join the Discord server. Link is in the description down below. And we also have other social media as well, like Instagram, Twitter. We're live. We go live on Twitch quite often as well. So it would behoove you to, go ahead and subscribe to the Twitch channel at twitch.tv/JamesBrayGang. Join the cause and be a part of the greatest, literally the greatest community ever. Okay, it's simple. Just go ahead and do those little things. We're trying to grow on all these little platforms and everything, and it really means a lot. Now, I know you guys stumbled up across the channel and you're like, what does this guy post? Like, what kind of content does he post? Reactions, vlogs, pretty much whatever comes to my mind. All right, it's random content. I don't know what I'm gonna be posting 10 years from now, but I do know that you can stick along for the journey, and it really means a lot. Now, for every single person that subscribes and follows all of the accounts that I have made, and all the links will be in the description down below, that's an automatic entry for any future giveaways I decide to have. I'll remind you when the giveaways take place, but you'll be surprised what I will be giving away because you guys have supported me so much up to this point, and it's only right that I do the same thing back. Thank you guys so much for being amazing, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Peace.